Okay, I'm going to show you how to do the Bibles for the sermons. This is probably the only part you're going to be sticking into any of the sermon material or sermon presentation while I am on sabbatical. So everything I am on one of the sermon presentations in the playlist. These are already put in. It just happens to be for July 7th. You can see I have a blank slide and then nothing else. That's the way all the sermon presentations are starting out. To put in the Bible text, you're going to click on Bibles, and then that was actually my passage for this, so I'll back that out. You're going to choose your version. Now I have set up all the options to be nice and simple, work well, so you should not have to mess with any of the options here, but you're going to choose your translation amongst those here. Brian, tend to preach from the NRSV. Marie Haddon tends to preach from the New Living Translation. Bill Hoffman tends to use the Revised Standard Version. And Richard Morano and Dave Borland tend towards the New International Version. The technique, or what you do, is the same for all of them, but you have to choose the translation first. So let's say it's going to be me preaching. I'll do New Standard Version. You can then, in this box here, type in the passage that you're going to do. Let's say we're going to do Genesis 1 through 10. Genesis 1 through 10. Hit enter. All the passage will come up. You can also, alternative way to do it is this drop down box. You can select the passage that you want, or the book, then the chapter, then the verse that you want to start with. Let's say we're going to do verse 1 here. And then click to add verses to it. This actually went through a bunch of different stuff, so okay, so we have Genesis 1 through 10 on the screen. Each slide, the slides break on a verse. That's one of the options that I set. So now what you're going to do is come over here to this part here, and you're going to say copy to current document. Now remember, I've got the sermon document already up, so I'm just going to copy to current document. Then I can close out of the Bibles, and voila, I have the passage. The reference is simply listed on the last slide. And then what I'd like to do, stick in another blank slide, just with this add slide. That way, the last verse isn't sitting up there for the entire sermon. So now, you can stick a background in as well, as you've seen in past videos. One thing to pay attention to, same with the songs, is you do not want to have orphans. You don't want to have a single word all by itself on a slide, like we have here on Genesis 1:6. So like we do with the slide, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the editor. You cannot do this through the reflow editor, unfortunately. For some reason, Bibles don't work that way, don't work with that. We'll go to the verse that we need. We'll double click in the text itself, and then we'll just hit enter to unorphan the orphan. And then at first glance, everything else looks good, and we are in good shape. That is how you work with the Bibles.